Okay, we'll start with our class. Okay, so let's start with our class. So I'll share my screen. Okay, so I have given one notice that I will take one class test on that is Sunday, isn't it? I forgot the date. What was the date? Sunday will be, I think, 20, isn't it? On lesson 6, 7, 8 of 25 marks. So this will be your online class test. Okay. So to perform the class test, you will get a link on your group. At 8:30 sharp, at 8:30, you will get one link. So on that link, you have to click. And when you click the link, your page will be open on your mobile web browser. One page will be open. And on that page, one button will be there, start exam button. Okay. So you have to click on that start button exam and you'll be asked to enter your name. Then you have to enter your full name and click OK. So you have to enter your full name. Okay. Don't put other person's name like XYZ or other thing. Okay. So if you want, so same thing will be in the half yearly. So this is your trial exam. Okay. And it will be of 25 marks. So this is a revision exam. Okay. So you should take it seriously. Understood? So when you get a link, when you click on the link, a page will be open and you have to click on one button that is start exam and you have to enter your name and click OK. Then your question paper will be open. So on the question paper, you will see some multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, short answer, long answer. So for short answer and long answer, you have to type with your mobile keyboard. Okay, you have to type with your mobile keyboard and you have to give the answer. So when you scroll down, you will get the other questions and you will have to answer it. And you'll get a time duration. So you'll be viewing the clock. Okay, so there will be one clock and you can see the timing is going down and down and down. Okay. So when suppose if you are not able to cover up within the time period, it will be automatically submitted. So try to cover it within your time period. Okay. So let's start with our class. So today we are going to discuss chapter 9. And today we'll come to an end of our chapter 9. So in this chapter 9, today we are going to discuss looping and select case statements. So if you are opening your book, you can go to page number 121. You can go to page number 121. So there we'll start with select case statement. So select case statement. So it is used to execute the program depending upon various choices. So this statement is used to execute the program depending upon various choices. It compares the given value with the available options. When it gets the matching option, it executes the statements given for that option. So in some cases, there will be some scenario or some cases where a user needs to choose an option. Okay, so if he chooses an option, so according to that chosen option or entered value, it will compare and it will execute the statements, and the program will execute the statements according to the user's choice. So I will explain you with the help of a very small program how we are going to use select case statement. So select case statements are mostly used in restaurant menus, in hotel menus, where you can order things on your touch screen. Yeah. Suppose in a restaurant you are going to order something, then you have to choose an option that on Chinese what you are going to order is on suppose on lunch what you're going to order, on suppose dinner what you're going to order, on breakfast what you're going to have. Huh? So when you go to a restaurant, you will get a menu. Yes or no? You get one menu and you order the things. The same menu can be created with the help of programming, and we will use select case statements on such type of programs, automated programs, when the user chooses chow mein, or when the user chooses chicken tandoori, yes or no? So he will get a brief idea of the price and how many plates he wants to order. So according to that, the price will be calculated and he will get the order. Okay. So in various programming languages or in various scenarios, there is a use of select case statements. So when you're going to write the program on select case statements, so this is a syntax. So this is the rule of writing the select case statements. So in select case statements, you have to write in Visual Basics IDE, in VB IDE, you have to write select case expression. Case is value 1 statements, case is value 2 statements, case else statements, and select. So this is a syntax of select case statement. So that means this expression will be compared with the value that the user has entered. If the user enters 1 or if the user enters A, so this statement will only be executed. If the user selects 2, only this statement will be executed. So later on we'll develop a restaurant program where we will see how it is working. So now I will explain you with the help of a very small program how the select case statement is going to work. So let us open Visual Basic IDE. So this is the VB IDE, and we're going to see about the select case program. So new project. So we'll see select case program. Okay. So I'll write select case program. So from here you will get an idea of how select case program works. So I will use the program from a book, that is how will display the days when the user chooses one. If the user chooses one, a message box will be displayed. It is Monday. When user chooses 2, a message box will be displayed. It is Tuesday. Okay, so in that way we'll write a program. Okay, so we'll display the output in a message box. So here you can see in page number 121, a message box is a special dialog box basically used to display message to the user. So it is basically used to display message to the user. So we'll use the message box in this program. So for that, you have to go to page number 122. So in page number 122, you can see what are the controls we are going to take. So label, button, and text box 1. So these are the 3 controls that we are going to take. So label, then text box 1, then button. We're going to take one button. So label name, label 1. So text, click the button. So label text will be click the button. Click the button. Okay. Then button name, button 1, text click. So text will be click. And text box 1 is text box 1 dot text. Now in click we will write the program. So double click the button, Then we'll write the select case statement. The Dhanjit will tell me what is the code for the statement. Dhanjit, come online. Open page number 122. There you will see figure 9.17. Coding for click of button. Tell me. I think Dhanjit is not hearing. So here, Anjana. Okay, Anjana, you tell me. On page number 122, figure 9.17. Coding for click of button. So what is the coding written there? So first we have to declare a variable. So how we will declare a variable? So what is written there? Dim. Is it not? Okay, I cannot see it.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what is written there. Say quickly.
9.17.
Yeah, 9.17. Coding for click of button. You tell me.
Double click on the button.
No. On page number 122, you see figure 9.17. One picture is there. Have you seen?
Oh yes, sir.
There it is written.
Yes.
You tell me that one. So it is dim. Yes.
Private.
Yeah, you leave the first line. You say the second line. Second line.
Dim and as integer.
Dim.
N equal to
integer.
Where text box 1 dot text.
Text box 1 dot text. Okay.
Case is equal to 1.
And select case. Is it not? Select case A.
Yes.
Case is equal to 1. Then message box.
Case is equal to 1.
Message box Monday.
Yes. Yes.
Case is equal to 2. Okay, thank you, Anjana. So here we are using our syntax, you know, select case A. So that means when the user enters on this text box a number, yes or no, and that number will be taken by this variable A and select case A. So what the user will select, that A will be selected from these cases. So when user selects 1, when user enters 1, then case 1 will be executed. So this case 1 will be executed and message box will display as Monday. Okay. When user enters 2, so this case will be executed. So it will be message box Tuesday. I'll that quickly. So that so case is 3. Case is equal 3. Then message box will be Wednesday. Okay. Then case is equal 4. Then message box Thursday. Then case is equal 5. So message box is Friday. Next case is equal 6. Message box will be Saturday. Then case is 7. So message box Sunday. Then case else. So according to syntax, at last we have to write case else. Case else message box. So now case else is for what? What is for case else? So case else, that means if user enters other number or if user enters any character other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then we should tell the user that you have entered a invalid number. Please enter the number from 1 to 7, yes or no? So we have to inform the user that he has entered a wrong number or wrong value, yes or no? So that is why we will use case else. Okay. Else, if user enters the other character from 1 to 7, then we will display a message to him that value entered is invalid. We'll inform him that value entered is invalid. Please enter value from 1 to 7. Okay, so we'll inform the user in that way. So our program is almost ready. Now we'll execute the program. Okay. Now we'll type 1 and we'll click. So it will display Monday. So as user, you can see as user enters 1, so this case will be executed. Yes or no? So case is 1. As I have here 1, so it will compare. Case is 1, yes, case is 1. So message box Monday. So if I give here 4 and click, then which is executed Thursday. Yes or no? So in this way it compares the value entered by the user. Case is 8. Is the case 8? No, case is 8. Yes or no? So which it will display? It will display this message. Click. See, value entered is invalid. Please enter value from 1 to 7. Okay. So if you type enter character, suppose this type of character. Okay. So string is not valid. Okay. Again, if user enters other characterization or other number, then it will give the warning. See, value entered is invalid. Please enter value from 1 to 7. Okay. So in this way, it selects and compares the value and displays the result in a message box. Understood? Okay. So this is all about select case statement. So these are programs that we have written. So next we'll go to looping structure. Page number 123. Page number 123. So in Visual Basics, we are going to study two types of looping structure: for next loop and do while loop. Now, what is looping and why we need loop? Loop means, to understand loop, I will give you one small example. Okay, so every loop has a condition. Every loop has a condition. Now, to understand loop, I will tell you one small example. Now, suppose you and me went to a circular field, okay, or a playground, and I ask you to ride your bicycle 10 times, 10 rounds. Okay, now what is the condition? The condition is that I am asking you to ride your bicycle 10 rounds of the playground. So after 10 rounds, you will stop what? You will stop moving around the field. That means you will stop looping. That means you will stop looping. So first you will loop one time, then you will loop second time, then up to 10 times you will loop around the circular field. So that means you are repeating the same thing. Yeah? How many times? 10 times. So that is known as looping. So at times we require looping in programming language. So why we need looping? So we'll see it. So at times there is a need that we might have to repeat certain statements a number of times. Okay. So there are some scenarios where you have to loop a statement number of times or execute a statement number of times. So a loop repeatedly executes code in its body until the loop conditional statement becomes false. See, I have told you to loop or go round the field 10 times. So that is the condition, is it not? 10 times you have to go. So after 10 times you will stop. Why? Because after 10 times your condition becomes false. 11 times you will not go. Why? Because the condition is only 10 times. So when you want to go for 11 times, it becomes false, yes or no? And you will see that, oh, sir has told me to go only 10 times. Why should I go for 11 times? Yes or no? So as soon as that becomes false, yes or no, the condition becomes false. So you will go only 10 times. So that is why it is said that a loop repeatedly executes code in its body until the loop conditional statement becomes false. So until it becomes false, the loop will go round and round. So for next allows, so that is for next loop allows us to repeat a set of statements a fixed number of times. So this is a basic syntax for next loop. For variable initial value to final value statements, then next. Okay, so this is a syntax for and next loop. That means how many times it will repeat, we have to give here initial value to final value. Suppose you want to repeat the statements 10 times, so you have to give 1 to 10, so it will repeat 10 times. So I will show you one small program how we are going to use the for next loop, and we will repeat the statement 10 times. Suppose I want to take out, I want to find out, or I want to calculate the event number from 1 to 20, yes or no? So I will not calculate every time. So I will not write the statement 20 times. I will write the statement only one time. I will write the formula only one time. And I will repeat that formula 20 times. Okay. I will check every number from 1 to 20. And I will see that whether it is a even number or odd number. So if it is a even number, it will be shown as even number. But before that, we'll use one small program to understand the loop. So let us start with a small program to understand the loop. Looping in VB. Okay. So in the book, a small program is given. So here we'll use three controls. There's no label, button, and rich text box. So why we are using rich text box? Because it accepts multiple lines. Okay. So we'll take three controls, that is label, then button, and rich text box. So this is rich text box. We'll expand it. Okay, so it is clear to us. The level 1 property name will be level 1. The text will be what? Click the button. So we have to change the text to click the button. Okay, so now we have changed the text. Next is control is button. So name will remain button 1 and text will be enter a line. So I'll click button and I will change the text to what? So text is what? Enter a line. So page number 123 on your book you can see on page number 123 what are the controls we are using and what the properties we are going to change. Okay. So we'll change the text to enter a line. Okay. The rich text box value will remain same. Now we're going to enter the code for button 1. Okay, Tanya, are you there? Tanya Momin. Tanya Momin, are you there? Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? My voice is audible to you.
Sir, I did not understand.
My voice is audible to you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you are understanding or not what I am saying? Hello?
Sir, I did not understand.
Which one you didn't understand? Which one? Looping.
Sir, I can only hear you, but I cannot see in the screen.
Oh, you cannot see on the screen. That is why. Okay, okay. I'll send you the video. Okay, it is recording so that you can see it afterwards. Okay. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
our class is being recorded. So I'll send you afterwards so you can see it at home. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Now we'll enter the
Thank you,
code
sir.
for the button 1. So here we'll write the for next loop. Okay. So so we'll choose one variable. Okay. A. Suppose variable A. For A equal to 1 to 10. Suppose I want to repeat the loop 10 times. Okay, so this is our loop for next loop, and I have to write the statement here according to our syntax. So I will write what rich text box is not rich text box dot append text. So we'll append. Append text is to input the text on the rich text control. Okay, A ampersand VB new line. So VB new line will do what? It will put the number to the next line. Okay. Now we'll execute this statement. So as I click on the button, it will trigger the event. It will trigger the event, and reach box text and reach text box one dot append text will repeat 10 times. So it will display from number 1 to 10. As I has written only one statement, but this statement will be repeated 10 times. So it will repeat 10 times, it will display from number 1 to 10. Have you seen? So in this way, it will repeat the number from 1 to 10. Only one time we have written the statement. So it has entered the number from 1 to 10. So in the same way, we can use do while loop. Okay. For next loop. So looping is basically same. Loop will repeat the statements every time, whether it is a for loop or do while loop. So we can write the same program with the help of do while loop. So if you go to page number 124, you can see do while loop. So do while loop statement is used to execute a set of statements only if the given condition is satisfied. So here we have given the condition 1 to 10. So in do while, a condition is given. So it will execute the statement only when the condition is true. But here in for and next loop, it will execute even the condition is not true. Here we have not given any condition. Yes or no? But in do while loop, we have to provide a condition. So we can write the same using what? Using do while loop. Okay. So we will use the same to write to execute using do while loop. Okay. So we'll use the same controls. Then on page number 125, you will see the button 1 coding for click of button. Okay, you can see. So here we have to use dimension. Okay, dim as integer. Okay, then a equal to 1. We have to initialize the loop. So it will start from 1. Yes or no? Initial value is 1. Next, do while. Now we'll give the condition. A is less than equal to 5. It means it will repeat 5 times. So the condition will repeat 5 times. As soon as A is equal to or less than 5, it will repeat. If A becomes more than 5, then it will not repeat. So it will repeat the statement from A to final value 5. Okay. And our statement reach text box. Reach text box 1 dot text context A ampersand VB new value. Okay. VB new line. Now we have to increment A equal to A plus 1. Now what is the use of giving A equal to A plus 1? See, when the user enters, when the A will be equal to 1, yes or no? A is equal to 1. So do while condition. So what is the condition? A is less than equal to 5. Yes or no? So as our first condition becomes true, 1 is less than 5. So it will execute this statement. So A will become 1. So it will be displayed on reach text box as 1. Now on the next statement, what? A will be incremented by 1. So here A becomes 1 plus 1. A becomes 2. So again it will go to the condition. It will check whether 2 is less than 5 or not. Yes, again 2 is less than 5. So again it will repeat the statement. So A becomes 2. So it will display 2. Again A equal to 2 plus 1. A equal to 2 plus 1 is 3. So A becomes 3. So again it will check whether A is less than 5. Yes, A is less than 5. So again it will execute. So in this way it will repeat the loop how many times? 5 times. So let us see. So if we don't give this statement, then it will not repeat. Why? Because A is not incremented and it will not repeat the loop. It will not repeat the condition. It will not make the condition true. Okay. See, it is repeated how many times? 5 times. So if you give here 20, it will repeat how many times? 20 times. So here you can see from 1 to 20. Okay, you can see from 1 to 20. So it will repeat 20 times. So in this way, with the help of for loop and do while loop, we can repeat a statement any number of times. Only the difference between for loop and do while loop is there. In for loop, we don't provide condition, but in do while loop, we have to provide a condition. So that is a basic difference between for and do while loop. So with this, we come to an end of our chapter. Now I will show you how to find the even number with the help of loop. So that means I will check from number 1 to 20 how many even number are there. So I will give a condition to find the even number. If a modulus 2 is equal to 0, then it will give the even number. Okay. So we have done with our even number program. Now as I click the enter Newland button, it will display the even number from 1 to 20. So see, from 1 to 20, these are the even numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So in this way, we can use do while loop to find out the even numbers. So in the same way, you can use for loop also to find out the even numbers. So now I will use the for loop to find out the even number. So for A is equal to 1 to 20. Okay. If A modulus 2 is equal to 0. If we divide A with 2 and if we get remainder 0, then in very short time we'll end our meeting and I will send you. You need to click on send link. Okay. I request you again to click the link. Okay, so that we can finish the lesson. So see, here we can find the even number. So with the both loops, we can find out even numbers. Okay. See.